Hey guys, welcome back to my weird esoteric channel. Today I will talk about death by a thousand voices. I know you've heard of the saying death by a thousand cuts, but this is very similar. And this concept I learned from the YouTuber called Elisha Long, and it made a lot of sense to me at first. So let's say there's a core purpose for you in life. And in my case, it's to start a family and be a great father. That's all I want, and to do that I need only a certain things, right? Finances, good parenting skills, and a very good suitable partner. These three things I need. So in my life I would do whatever it is to achieve these three things. And let's say there is a overlap of multiple voices that will lead me away from this thing, and it could be even the voices of your most close ones, like for example your parents, your teachers, even YouTubers you watch, that are trying to instill in your head that there is something else that is better ought to be chased in life. And that overlap of voices often leads you to losing yourself, to losing the path in which you were headed and what you were trying to do initially, right? And I'm not going to lie, I was there at some point. Like the overlap voices of my parents, other YouTubers, make money, we're doomed. It's all just very demotivating. And especially in the current landscape, nobody has anything optimistic to say anymore. Like, we know we're cooked. Right. What are we going to do about it? There's no choice for us but to try out something we love and chasing that relentlessly. Because everything else is fried. We finally have the freedom to chase what we desire for once. And nobody is going to blame you for it, because at the end of the day, even if you fail, you will be right where everybody else is, unemployed and trying to look for something that will just get them through their day to day, right? We're all going to be there at some point. My personal belief is that, when you're going out, you might as well go out with a bang. Or like if you're trying something, just chase it for a while, and then if that works out, that's amazing. Like you can finally get to do whatever you want and then be fulfilled in actually working daily. On the other hand, if that doesn't work out, you will just be like everybody else. There you have a safety net. Like for example, if you have a college degree and all that, there is a safety net there. So oftentimes what happens is these overlap of voices tend to stray us from things that we would otherwise have tried. Now, for example, I'll give you an example, right? If I see a cute girl, like just walking past, and then I said, maybe I wanted to ask her Instagram or something. As a result of me, like listening to negative experiences on the internet, coupled with the negative, like somewhat anxious nature of my friends, my at the back of my mind, I would think, oh, what if she finds you a creep? What if she's really not into the idea of dating and whatever? That would really put off the attempt, right? Like you would either do it or not do it, but that would really put off the attempt. And here's the thing about these kind of things: if there is something you really want, or if there is something that is really worth chasing, you would have done it already. If there is a mental struggle going on in your head, that already means that it is something you do not want to do. That's just my personal belief. Sometimes you have to fight that thought of not wanting to do some things that will really benefit you. You have to fight that thought. But let's say 9 times out of 10, even if it's for like a new hobby or whatever it may be, if there is a mental struggle within you, that probably means it wasn't meant for you. Like it has to be an astounding yes, or you have to convince yourself that it's an astounding yes, right? That is what separates your unwanted desires from something that you will truly pursue in life. So here's the thing about today's world: that death by a thousand voices, right? We hear these thousand voices from various different sources, not just our family, even from social media. So my advice to you is, really pay attention to the kind of voices that you are listening and actively obeying, because there is a lot of crap out there, and it is something, it becomes your duty then to filter most of them out and only grasp the ones you really need, so that they help you improve in life and just a little nudge towards your purpose. And also try not to mentally wank yourself off. What I mean by that is, like, just by watching a certain video is not going to improve your life. It gives the same dopamine hit, but it's not going to improve your life unless you actually get up and do something about it. That's the reality of 90% of content: podcasts, books, videos, heck, even courses, dude. You need to do for it to become valuable. That's all I'm trying to say. So, even the little voices you do have, always try to look for an implementation and really filter out the kind of anything you consume, because at the end of the day they're going to take up a majority of your headspace, and it is under your control to realize that if you want that in your headspace or not. Try to keep it as silent, as quiet, and as serene as possible. Nobody will blame you for chasing peace. Thank you for watching.